Thank you very much, Helene, for inviting me, or us. I'm representing ØsterGRO, and nice to see Emil and Wouter again from Dag Agger. I say Dag Agger, and you understand it, but I've had so many Dutch people visiting me, and I say Dag Agger, and they don't know what I'm saying. And then I say Dag Agger, and then they, Dag Agger, they say, and then it's like, that's just what I said. But anyways, I'm from the south of Denmark, but I live in Copenhagen. And in the eastern part, we have a place called ØsterGRO that started in 2014. And we are having a birthday, a 5-year birthday on Wednesday, actually. So it's just been 5 years. And it's the first city agriculture, and now I'm an agrotech, right? That's what the American guy said. That's a very nice word. I'm going to use that. I used to be a landscape architect, but I hope I'm not coming back to that. I know a lot of you are, but I'm going to have to learn a lot of AutoCAD and all these things again. So I'm a little bit rusty in that. But it was started by 3 persons, and it's Livia on the left side and Sophia on the right, and then me in the middle. You can actually have bees right next to people sitting in shirts, but I've also had some trial and error, like these stings. I've had a lot of them, but sometimes you can look at them while they're quite nice and calm. Sophia is working as a landscape architect now, and then it's me and Livia who runs the place. It started in 2010 when I finished school, and I heard about urban farming, and I thought of that as something interesting that we don't have in Copenhagen. Of course, urban and farming is just 2 words put together. So we've done urban farming for many years in Copenhagen with the allotment gardens, kolonihaver, and I guess you have that in Oslo also. So it's not new to us growing things in the city, but like this kind of concept could be, I would say, is kind of new. And first I got the opportunity to go to Brooklyn Grange Farm in New York to visit that, and that was very exciting and very big. It's 8 times the size as our farm in Copenhagen. And then after that I met Livia, and then we wanted to do, and she was an intern at Brooklyn Grange Farm in 2013. And then together we drove, Sophia, Livia and we drove all the way to Emil and Wouter to visit the Dag Agger, which is this one. And it was just so nice to get a European scale to it, like where you're like, it's not a tall building, and it's like 700 square meters, yours, right? Yes, and ours is 600. So it was like really nice to see what they were doing, and plus also in America, everything is extremely inspiring, but some of the things you can't really do in Europe, and some of them you can. So and I was also in Seattle in 2013, and I heard about the CSA, which I'm going to tell you about, the community supported agriculture. In Swedish you call it andelslandbrug.
Except we're in Norway.
In Norway, you call it andelslandbrug.
Yeah.
In Denmark, we call it fællesskabsstøttet landbrug. So just to make it confusing. So we wanted to start the first rooftop farm. And this is a photo of made by some landscape architects, I guess. And like making more green roofs, like you said, Helene, would be a fantastic idea, I think. So that's what we were aiming for. And a rooftop farm can like supply the citizens with locally produced food, and all the transportation. You will, we can make a lot of food in the city, but what we have always also said is that the main supply of food is of course supposed to come from the rural landscape. And for us, it's more about the quality than the quantity. In Denmark, we have a lot of agriculture. You also do in Norway, but I think Denmark, compared to the size we are, how small we are one of the largest producers in Europe. So we make Christmas trees, 10 million of them, and we sell them to you guys. So and make some money on that. And also to the Germans. And we make a lot of other stuff, but also a lot of pigs. We have, as we speak, maybe 25 million pigs in Denmark stored inside. So and they need a lot of food. So 80% of our agriculture is actually not food for us, but food for animals. And then we also import a lot of things from Brazil, soy products. So, and I think that's, yeah, fine with that. But I think it could be really fun if we could make our own food that we are going to eat. And then, of course, make some animals as well, because it tastes nice. And animals is also part of agriculture. So anyways, also, like for me, my interest was supplying the city with another kind of public space, like trying to do something new. We have a lot of parks in Copenhagen. Some of them are royal, King's Garden, and all these Baroque, Renaissance places. So making a place that was a little bit different was important for me. We absorb a great deal of rainwater. Our problem in the future, and in Norway also, is these cloud bursts, skybrud. And we had one in 2011, and that was like the first sign from above that we need to do something in our city to cope with the water, because the sewer system is not able to carry that much rain at such high speed. So, and being on a roof is good, especially in Copenhagen, which is undergoing a lot of development. So finding a space on the ground level is, if you ask me, impossible. Plus the soil is contaminated by definition, we say. So we think it's sustainable, and Copenhagen is branding itself on being green, so why not have a rooftop farm? And we were really fortunate finding a place. It's called the Nellemann House. His name is Jacques Nellemann, the owner. He's the 4th generation of a car company. You can see some race car tires lying there. And he's Denmark's first Formula 1 driver. So I'm very, very keen on racing, so it's fun for me. We are in the eastern part of Copenhagen, like northeast, but still in the municipal. And we have this main Bryggervangen street. It's very large, and we have like the biggest roundabout in Copenhagen. It's actually not that big anymore. Now where the trees are here, it has been changed into where the roundabout is here, and then the rest is extremely green, also all the way down here. And that's because of the climate neighborhood. It's a city renewal project for 5 years that ended in 2016. And now they've made all these rainwater parks, rainwater park here and rainwater adaptive places. And then we also got some money to fund our project. So we got some municipal money and some from the Fund for Organic Agriculture. And yeah, our roof is right there. This is how it looks from the other side. So in August 2013, we were looking for a roof. And then the climate neighborhood, the city renewal, they like mediated the contact with Nellemann. And then we started applying for funds. And just a sec. These stairs, they really scare a lot of people. It's I'm very used to them now, but sometimes people are actually angry at me for like making them go up the stairs. But we have a huge elevator, so this is actually the body of the elevator. So, and it's an office building now, and it's not the prettiest building in the world, but it's good. It's an old auction house. There used to be cars on the roof. Therefore, the roof itself is able to carry a lot of weight. And that is in 13, where we, no, that's in 14, sorry, 5 years ago in April, where we started building. We had the carpentry school, some of the students there helped us make these sites. And then we established, it's a company called ØsterGRO, which is also here in Norway. And it's actually a very easy system where you have this felt that you roll out in big dimensions. You can see me carrying it there. There you go. And that's easy, and then cutting in the end with a scissor. And then you have these deer drain, looks like egg trays made from recycling plastic. And it can carry like 20 liters per square meter of water. And then there's another layer of felt. And then there's soil, and that all came with the crane, as you can see here. And then we got the greenhouse, and then we started growing plus beehives, as you can see. And that's how it looked the first season. It has changed a lot, and I'm going to show you a video now, because the reason for it changing is because it's an old building. It's from 1974, and we moved in 2014, and then 2 years later, in December 15, we were told that the roof was leaking. We knew it was leaking, and they tried to find the hole, like the tarmac underneath. There was some kind of hole, and I think it was there before we came, actually. But nobody seemed to care until that the architects, Nova 5, moved in right below us. They didn't really like having water dripping. So of course we understand that. So the Schack actually decided that he needed to change the tarmac. So we took it all down. I'm going to show you how that is done. Can you show me, Helene? It's nice to know that you're able to take down your project, actually. And you know just how much time it takes. I really hope that I'm not going to do it again, but this is like 2.5 minutes of video, and we had a lot of volunteers, and this was in January 2016 where we started. So the soil is not just soil, it's like one big pack of frost, because it was extremely cold. And actually, I think it was on the 3rd of January, people a little bit hungover. 35 people came and helped us, and it took us 6 days, and I think it was like every day there were around 15-20 people coming and helping us. So that was really crazy, and we wouldn't have been able to do it without their help. And now it's really frosty, as you can see. It was hell. And it also gave us the opportunity to make a version 2.0. But we didn't change a lot of things, actually. Of course, we changed a lot on the kitchen. We opened a restaurant in 2015. And it was a very, it was a very, and there's the crane taking all the soil down. It was a very small kitchen we made, and it was a lot of openings, so the wind could get in. It was very beautiful and nice and small. And then the health control, Fødevarestyrelsen, they came, and she wasn't that keen on that kitchen. So, and that's the problem in Copenhagen. We have a lot of bureaucracy, and there's no counseling. So we actually called the health department and asked them, say, okay, I want to make a kitchen right next to a lot of soil, 10 chickens, a compost, and a lot of bees. And then they said, yeah, you can just start building, and then we will come and check it out. And I was like, but I don't know how to do it, and can you please help me? And they're like, no, we don't do counseling. We only come out and point and say, no. It's so that was a big, and then she told us, or she didn't tell me, she told the chef that as long as you make a roof, then it's all right. And it's not all right with only a roof. It has to be with a floor, with walls, everything. An ant is not supposed to be able to go into a kitchen. Everything has to be sealed. So, see you again at spring, it says. And that's how we took it all down. Oops. Sorry. And then we rebuilt it. That's Livia. So, sorry. Yes. So we made a whole new kitchen where the beehives are. And yes. Yeah. Then we run a CSA, as a community-supported agriculture. And it's a very easy system that we heard about. I heard about it in Seattle, but they also do one in Brooklyn Grange Farm. And it's a easy, less transportation, vegetables, you get it. And then there's the traditional food supply, where there's a lot more like processed food, transportation, and money. And it's like the system is that we have been kind of cut away from the agriculture. 50 years ago, there were like in the 70s, there were 80,000 agriculture farms, like households or companies. Now there is 10,000. So it's getting less and less the hands working in it. So you don't have anybody in the family anymore working in agriculture. Therefore, you don't really understand what's going on in the agriculture. And we have the supermarket right in the middle, and they take care of all the negotiating. What kind of food are we getting in? What will the prices be? All these things. And then you, as a consumer, the only thing you can do is go and buy from the supermarket. So we want to change that and break it into smaller pieces, and that's what the CSA model can do, where you have a very close connection to the farming. And real CSAs, ours is like a fun CSA with 40 members. It doesn't give a lot of income, but real CSA maybe in California has 1,000 members or 200, and then they also have a piece of land where they do something else.
Sorry, how many members?
We have 40 members. 40, right? Yes. 40. And we grow a lot of stuff: beets, salad, potatoes. We also try and udfordre, challenge our members a little bit, and give them something that they're not used to, that you can't buy in the supermarket. We have bees that gives honey, and then of course we have some chicken. And we slaughtered the last 9 chickens a couple of weeks ago, and now we got some new ones. So that was a fun day. And then of course we try and show this to our members and all the volunteers helping us, and we check out the bees every Wednesday. Every Wednesday is a harvest and member day, where we do a lot of stuff together with them. But the main income is something else. It's the restaurant, of course. You can see, that's here. It's old pictures, but it gives. They sit in the greenhouse and eat. And we do a lot of tours. A lot of people coming by that wants to see the place. We're very happy about that. We do some workshops and some education. We also go out and tell about it. We've tried farmers markets, but don't do it a lot anymore. We don't have that culture in Denmark of buying vegetables in a market. I don't know how it is here in Norway, but in France and also in the States, they're really good at supporting it. When you do a market in Copenhagen or in Denmark, it's always the French fries that win. Like where the friture is, that's where you go, and that's where the money is. So, but the restaurant is running it. But without the farm, there wouldn't be a restaurant. So we always say that the primary thing is the farm. It's not the primary income, but without it, it would be impossible to have a restaurant in the outskirts of Copenhagen on a roof where nobody can see you. So, yes, I'm getting to the end. I learned to do this power interest grid when I was in school. It's always nice to see like who has the power and who has the interest. Of course, me and Livia, we have great interest in this succeeding. So does Nellemann, but he also has a lot of power and more power than we do. The municipality, with all the bureaucracy, sometimes has endless power, and sometimes they're just there. It's a private building, it's Nellemann's building, but they still have a say. We have an ongoing discussion because there is 23 parking spaces on that roof. They've never been there, they don't exist, and they never will exist, and there's not public parking spaces, but on paper they are definitely there. So, and then there's like the local citizens. Of course, I hope they have some interest, but not much power. And it's always nice to like do that scheme before you start a project, like who is the ones that takes the real decisions, and who do you need to persuade and who do you need to work with. So what we've learned is that collaborating with others is really good. First it started with Dag Akker and getting some knowledge from them, and then the Bygros, who helped us make the farm, and Like there's been so many collaborators also taking part in it, but also branding themselves on our project, which is totally fine with us because we also get something out of it. And then we also, a lot of ideas, brainstorming, and then a long-term plan, and always apply for more money than you think. That's a good idea. I'm the one making the budgets, so I always add a little extra. So and it's been good actually. So we got a good substantial amount of money to start the farm, and then we've been the first year me and Livia were volunteers ourselves, and then after that when we opened the restaurant it has helped a lot. So I'm not earning the money of a landscape architect yet, but I'm getting close. Det var det. Thank you.